Hello, my little goblins. We're back at it again. This time we are back with Blackwings. I know you guys were asking for this for a while, so I hope this video does you justice. And by the end of the video, I hope you guys learn a thing or two. So, this deck is awesome. The thing this deck was missing the most was consistency and having some type of going first play. Before the last time we did a Blackwing deck profile, our going first play was pretty much ending on a Blackwing full master pass. No, we would have, I think, one other thing, but like it wasn't very good. This deck, are pretty much what we're looking to do is to set double or triple Blackwing Assault Dragon, which burns our opponent for 700 damage each time. That having it with Hot Red Archfiend, which is a must, because a lot of people are playing evenly matched. You get even lead, you're probably losing the game. And Draco Berserker. So, and if we're going second, you can OTK people with Arc Rebellion Dragon, or you can just combo off and OTK them normally. And then we have the one of Full Armor Master, because against trap decks, this card's really hard to deal with. Unaffected by card effects, it's the only way they're outing it usually is a Kaiju, or if they have like a Lord of Heavenly Prison to trade with it. So, yeah, the deck has increased in its consistency drastically. You still want to be leading off with Simon, but these new cards you get from the starter deck, it's crazy. Like, this starter deck is the GOAT. Probably one of my favorite decks right now. It's really, really fun to play, and we're playing it in the qualifiers, so let's see how we do. We also, the only cards, if you get the structure deck, that you're going to need to get, other than that, is the Called by the Graves, Triple Tactics, Cross Out, Imperms, Ash, Maxi, Nothing, which is a necessity. This card's not a necessity, but I do like it. Raike, I don't even know how to pronounce it, and Arc Rebellion Dragon. Everything else you get from the structure deck. And then obviously the supers. I'm only counting the ultras because that's the only important thing. But yeah, the deck's really solid. Let's get to the combo guide. It's just going to be like a small combo guide. If you guys want to skip it, you guys can skip it. Not a big deal. It's just to explain the basic combo with the deck. And then the matches, you'll see some of the more intricate combos during the matches. So let's get to it. Hello, my little goblins. We're back here with the combo guide. And here we're going to show the basic combo that this deck can do. So first we have Small World. Since we have Black Whirlwind in hand, we technically don't need to Small World, but we're going to Small World anyway. So we're going to Small World, Banish, and this is going to allow us to grab our Simone. Now we can play the Black Whirlwind and play the Black Simone to get rid of this. Boom. And we normal summon. Now we're going to get 2 triggers off Black Whirlwind. So this hand, pretty much, if your opponent has like Ash, you should be able to play through a lot of hand traps with this hand. So here we're going to be grabbing Sudori, because this card starts our combo, really. Well, Simon starts the combo, but this card kind of starts it too. Since we already have Vada in hand, we're just going to go ahead and grab Orochi. We're going to get a lot of triggers happening, so it doesn't really matter at this point. We normal summon, we're going to go for the search, and then we're going to chain block the search with the Black Whirlwind. Now here, if your opponent has Effect Veiler, it is a little annoying, because it does complicate it a little, but not too much. The only reason why it does it a little, you guys will see, but we're going to search for this. We're going to search for this. And then we are going to use this to grab our Shamal. So Shamal, we're going to activate its effect. This lets us play Black Feather Whirlwind from the deck. Then we can summon Vada. Activate Vada's effect to send Zephyros and this to go into Blackwing. Now we can activate the Whirlwind effect to grab Vada again. Now from this point, there's a lot of different paths you can take, but I prefer probably using Sudori to pop our Simone. And then going into our Nothing I'm going to place it up here just for the sake of space. Now we're going to activate Shamal's effect. Shamal's effect is going to allow us to grab Sudere again. And you might be saying, Fatzoid, I thought we already got Sudere. Like, what are we supposed to do with that? Well, when you go into nothing, the reason why you go into this is you get an extra normal summon. So now we get the normal summon again. And lo and behold, we get all these draws. Honestly, I don't even need this one, so I'm not even going to bother. Kind of redundant. We're just doing it for the chain block. And now we grab the trap card. So now we're at a pretty interesting space here. I think you can use Zephyros here to bounce this. Because this card will be able to get another activation here. Which I actually think is pretty important if you want to go into triple. So we're going to activate Vada with Zephyros. This lets us go into our Boros store. You could use its effect. I don't think you need to. I'm going to use the Black Whirlwinds effect though to grab Vada and play it back onto the field. And for the first thing we're going to do, we are going to actually use our Orochi to summon it. And then we're going to go into our first negate. Boom. And now we can summon our Hamri. Copy this. Have another level 4. Now we're going to go into our first burn. So this card will burn our opponent. And now we can go into it again. Bam. And now there's two options you can go into. We can just go into a negate, well, semi-negate, not really a negate, but Draco Berserker. Or we can go for the last, which allows us to go into this. Oh, never mind. We have this level 4. I wasn't counting that. Whoopsie. Alright, so we got triple. And then we can set this on the field. We could summon this. Not the worst idea. If you do summon this, the only problem is you would want to get it into the graveyard, and we don't have a way of getting it into the graveyard. So, I mean, I would just say you're kind of shit out of luck just holding your hand. But yeah, this is the basic board that you want to go into. I know it seems kind of convoluted, but it's really not that difficult. Just remember you have to use Borostorm to go into these level 10s. But bare minimum, no matter what hand you open, well, not no matter what hand, if you open like a pretty mediocre hand, you should be able to go at least 2 of these and a Hot Red Archfiend, unless your hand's just like really bad. And even that's like pretty devastating. I mean, you're burning your opponent 1400 a turn, and you have a negate to protect. And we do have Twin Shadow. Twin Shadow will let us go into our Full Armor Master. So in case it deals with our board. Yeah, I think we also could possibly go into our Silver Wind Descendant. Since when this card synchro summoned, we can use it for a pop using our trap. So we have a lot of interaction with our opponent, even though we're just mono burn pretty much. This is pretty much like, you know, when with that deck with the Despia, where you had just go into triple Masquerade Dragon before Despia got like its other cards. This is pretty much that on steroids. That's pretty much what it is. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little preview. I know it was a little long, but let's get into some actual matches and you can see how the deck performs live.
Hello, my little goblins. We're here, game number 1 against Sushi Boy, and they are playing Adamancipator, and I'm going to imperm the Researcher because he's a rat. Honestly, it's not a very strong start from him, because if he is going to normal summon Researcher, not the best play. Then he goes into Gallon Granite. So, if you guys don't know what Verniself does, Verniself locks you into Earth effects. So, I know he can't go into Raptite. So, if I negate this, even if he can go into another level 4, he won't be able to actually extend the board anymore. So, I just negate the Granite. Seems like an easy negate. If we don't top deck a monster, we just lose though. Because then he just Granites next turn. And here he goes. He could top deck another level 4. Boom. And Raptite does not work, so back to me. And we top deck a monster, so that means we get to do it. So if you guys don't know, Druido's in the deck just as a small world bridge. It lets us go. It lets any of our Blackwings plus the Druido go into any other Blackwing. So we end up going to Sudre because if you want to use small world with the other with Simone, you need to have 2 Blackwings in your hand because you have to banish for Simone's effect. So this is kind of like big level play. We send this to the graveyard to bounce this back to our hand because we don't have access to any of our spells. This is going to allow us to go into our other normal summon. So we get a second normal summon here. And remember, we can synchro summon Assault Dragon from the graveyard. Here comes the Wicked. Draco Berserker Tenyi. And boom. Attack, gets the attack. And now he is boom splat. He is dead. Goodbye, Smelly. But yeah, just kind of just shows that this deck can OTK very easily. You don't have to focus on just going first combo. Hello, we're here. We're going second again. Not very fun. Double small world in hand. Our hand's kind of... Maxi does make this hand a lot better. I will say that. Because this is going to pretty much force our opponent who's playing tier elements to end his turn immediately. Or if he wants to fully combo, fine with us. We have Evenlies in the deck. So if we get to our Evenlies, those are our payoff cards with the Maxi. So he's going to automatically go into Kikalios. He does one mistake here. There's the Evenly. With the Kikalios, he searches for Soliek, which is a very bad... It's not a bad card, but like his board loses the Evenly now, unless he had Crime. I thought he had Crime, so I thought it was going to be over regardless. Well, here we go. We Evenly, he loses everything, and him losing Kikalios is huge. Means it's very hard for him to go into Rikalios, if not impossible, unless he's playing like Lotus Swamp. And it just weakens the power level of the deck a lot. He's going to max see me on my normal summon, which is fantastic, because then I don't really have to play too much more into it. I will normal summon Sudri, though, to get the Black Whirlwind search. Black Whirlwind section, it feels very nice just drawing all these cards. I do take the liberty to... I probably shouldn't have done this. I did this to thin out the deck, but I do have the liberty to just pass. And he's kind of bricked right now. He only has Medora. And I'm assuming this is Soliek. I'm just going to assume it is. I don't know what his other card could be. Twin Shadow's not a bad card here. So with the Twin Shadow in hand, I feel like I should have just went for the OTK and said fuck it. But if for some reason he top-decked Havness, I would be in a lot of trouble. So if he top-decked Havness, I'd be in tons of trouble. So that's the reason why I did not do that. But I'm a little silly here because I end up using Vata anyway, and he does have Havness in hand because he did add it the turn before. So it's something I should have just paid attention to. Pretty stupid on my part. We go into Blackwing. Now, I do all of this just so I can add Sudri to hand. But again, I didn't realize he had Havness. I was willing to let him draw a card, but I probably would have just passed if I knew he had this card in hand. You know what? Maybe I did know he had it in hand, but he just wasn't playing it. I think it's because he wasn't getting any benefit from it. But pretty unfortunate. He just terraforms. And then there's that. And then our opponent is going to go into Yugioh Heart, which is unfortunate. Really annoying card to deal with. And he's going to go for the pop, which is, again, it's fine because we have Twin Shadow. I already knew he was going to target the back row, so that's why I wasn't flipping it early. Here comes Boresto. So this card's actually kind of interesting. I know this is our main card to combo into our synchro plays, but this card sends a card to the graveyard, which allows us to send Shiragni, which we can use end step to pop the field spell. I was actually thinking maybe it would have been better if I activated it super early so I could pop it so you wouldn't get the search off. Like, what if I activated... when he activated Terraform, I activated Twin Shadows, go into this, get that, and then when he played this, we pop it on activation. I think that was the better play. So, like, there's a lot of plays, these, like, lines of play this deck can go into, so which makes the deck a lot more fun than your standard, like, oh, I only have 3 lines to do. So, I think it's pretty interesting. So Sudre is going to get negated. But again, this is not the end of the world. His card's going to come back. We're going to max C. He sends Meryl to the graveyard, but Meryl can't activate because there's nothing for him to fuse into. So we go into Blackwing, and here's another, this is another mistake I think I made. Like, this is crazy. Like, we're winning these games, but, like, I feel like I'm making these little micro mistakes. Like, this play's good, me going into this, because he already did his normal summon, his special summon here. So popping this is a no-brainer, but I actually think I should pop Soliak, and you're going to see my reasoning why. Because then we go into Blackwing Assault Dragon. And I kind of gave my opponent out, where if I pop this, he gets whatever monster he wants, right? Which is big whoop, because the more effects he activates, he only has 3 monster effect activations before he can't play any other monster effects. He just dies. Whereas if I took out Soliak, now if he top decks a good monster, let's say he top decks any of the tier limit monsters, really, like Meryl or something, he can play Meryl and then activate Soliak's effect to negate my Blackwing Assault, so it never actually gets a tick off, and he gets to mill, and he gets to go into a possible fusion. So I don't know, I feel like popping this was probably more ideal, just because his life points is so low. Because you kind of have him at choke point. Our opponent top deck's nothing good, though, and it is pretty much GG for him. And we put him out of his misery. So, bye-bye. Hello, we're here with game number 3 against, again, I don't know what this is. I think it's because I was playing late night. I couldn't play during the day. So I was playing late night, and these are the people we get paired up with. Playing against Labyrinth, going second. Probably not a good fit. We'll see if we get our Poison Wind search. I think it's wild that he let me search for this, but okay. He has a normal summon. Alright, now he's going to activate his Royal Rare. Dude, double Royal Rare? Kinda, this guy's loaded. So he pops this, which is actually unfortunate. If you guys don't know how Blackwing works, it requires the monster to be on the field because the monster has to have less attack than the card I'm going to add to my hand. So Black Whirlwind actually doesn't get the search off, so kind of annoying. And now he's going to use Lovely Labyrinth. I actually thought I was just screwed here because I thought he was going to pop my Simone, but I think he's afraid of the Black Whirlwind from adding too many cards, so he pops that, which is beautiful for us. We're going to draw 2 cards. I could have stole his monster, which I probably should have because these cards suck. But hindsight's 20/20. I think most of the time you should steal it. He activates Soul Drain. He thinks this actually affects me. It does hurt a little bit because now I can't activate Zephyros. It's kind of annoying. But we're sitting pretty right now. He activates Rivalry. And now I'm going to go into my Blackwing Assault and attack him. So we're kind of like in trouble a little, but not necessarily. I have next turn locked in because as long as he plays a monster, which he will with Welcome, I can imperm the monster and then Rivalry will I can imperm the monster and Rivalry would get negated. And since he activated a monster negate, it gives me a feather on this. And if you guys don't know what this card does, this actually lets me protect my cards by removing one feather. So if he tries to pop this, I can protect it. I go into Blackwing Dragon here. Honestly, really unnecessary for me to do this. I was just afraid that he pops my back row without me being able to respond. So now here's the Imperm, and there's the Scoop. It was GG. It wasn't officially GG. He had a little bit more time, but it was going to be pretty problematic with him not being able to really activate monster effects. Hello, we're here with game number 4, and we're against another person's name I can't pronounce. And we're going to get D-Shifted. So D-Shifter, with my particular hand, does hurt me quite a bit, but we can play around it. Because we can't do any graveyard plays. But double Black Whirlwind, we're actually going to do a kind of wacky play. We're going to grab double Sudre. Right? Because there's no other way we can grab Sudre except by summoning Simone. So we grab double Sudre. And now we can combo off with these Black Whirlwinds. We had Vado. We had Sharanaga. We had Shamal. So I think we got ashed on Vada, which is really annoying. But now we get the, you see how since I still don't have any graveyard plays, I can use my second Sudre for the extra normal summon. That's the reason why we do the things we do, guys. Grab another Vada. Grabbing Harma. And grabbing another Shamal. Here comes Blackwing Dragon. I don't think my opponent expected our board to be at least like this good. I know it doesn't look crazy, this board. But for us being under D-Shifter, this is not a bad board. Like, he's going to take 700 a monster effect. And we at least have one negate up. It's not, it could be a lot worse. Could be a lot worse. He activates Mind Control. We negate it. And he's going to have nothing else left. I just wanted to show that we can play somewhat underneath D-Shifter. It's just it's a bit rough because we can't do any bouncing or do anything with the graveyard. Hello, we're here with game number 5. And again, I cannot pronounce their name. Our hand, again, a bit unorthodox. We didn't open Simone. So our hand is a little wacky. We also opened up both level 2 Garnets in our hand, which means that, like, with Vada, I had to send Simone to graveyard, which is a little odd too. It really sucks because that means I can't send Zephyros to the graveyard, which is a little stinky. So this means our end board's gonna be a little stinky. There's Draco Berserker. There's an Assault Dragon. Set Call by Grave Pass. We're going to maxi his opener. He's playing a back row deck. Pot of Extravagance. I get even lead. Like I said, getting even lead is rough. Only reason I kept this is because it doesn't really matter. So our opponent is actually, you guys don't know this, but he is playing a burn deck, which is really funny. So I don't know if you guys know this, but Blackwings are actually really good against burn, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So we have no resources right now, so we're just kind of in this pass go phase. I'm like waiting to draw one of my starters, and we do draw Simone. So I'm gonna be like, okay, let's shoot. Lets me go. Boom. This is so funny. So, so he starts activating his burn spells because I have a bunch of things on the board. But this card says if you take damage from a card effect, place one black feather token on this card instead. So both his burn spells are negated. I was at 4K too. It's actually kind of funny. So remember what I said about trap decks? I have a hard time dealing with full metal. Or full master. The one thing I do disagree with is I should not have... I had lethal on board regardless. There's no reason for me to take this off. Because if you had like something stupid, like double magic cylinder, I just lose the game. Whereas if I just keep it on board, I don't lose. I wouldn't win immediately, but I wouldn't lose. And now I also took 1,000 damage there, and he drew no more burn. So he is just passing it up, and we took that game. Hello, we're here with the final game, game number 6, and we're playing against David, and we're going first, which always feels nice, right? Get to do a nice little combo. We actually open up the cards we want to open. Get to do our nice little standard combo. Gotta give him the nice little easy one at the end here. Okay. Here we go. Here's Wicked. There's Blackwing Assault. Hot Rod Archfiend. Draco Berserker. So we got double burn, Draco Berserker, and Heart Red. Our opponent is playing Floateries. So you get to see a Floateries player suffer, which I always think is a fun experience for the whole family. So the great thing about Hot Red Archfiend is it does not destroy, which sounds like a bad thing, but when it comes to like people activating field spells, this deck is notorious for running evenly matched too. And remember, we get butt fucked by it. So me using Hot Red Archfiend on this means it doesn't get destroyed, which also means I'm not going to die to evenly. So it keeps on the field, but then he plays another field spell. And him playing that field spell tells me he has no other way of going into his level 7s. So I'm going to use Draco Berserker to just get this off the battlefield. Takes 1400. And then we're just going to go into Full Armor Master because he looks cool. I'm going to pop the field spell. Because I could have easily just used this the card in the graveyard, this card, to pop the field spell immediately. Like the Floateries field spell instead of using my negate. Which is possibly the correct answer, but it is 100% not necessary when you know your opponent could be running evenly. I'd rather just keep the field spell and just keep him off of using the card in general. So we just got into combat, we hit him twice, and he is bye-bye. So let's get to the recap. We'll talk how the deck did, and any comments I have on it. Hello and welcome to the recap. Thank you for watching this far, and if you want to continue supporting the channel, please hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you know exactly when I'm updating and putting up these sexy deck lists. Also, join our Discord. Our Discord, the link is down below in the description. It is awesome Discord, over 400 plus members, and we host tournaments every Friday. So, how did the deck perform? Let's talk about how the deck performed first of all. The deck had approximately around a 75% win rate. We climbed from Duelist rank 10 to Duelist rank 15 pretty quickly. The only games we were losing was games we were going second, and that's only because like if we don't open like evenly or like like something to disrupt our opponent, we just lose the game. And we also lost one game going first because we played into max C because I had a hand where I could go into triple. I was gonna go into triple burn and just be like fuck it, but we played into max C and they Nibiru'd. I used my Draco Berserker to banish the Nibiru, and then he gammed it, and then we just lose. We just lose the Nibiru. I mean, the good thing about the deck is Nibiru isn't really played, so like I wasn't playing around it really. So usually you don't have to worry about it because Nibiru is just bad in the tier meta. So. If the meta becomes like where Nibiru is like super played, then we'd probably have to put in at least one Nibiru for cross out. Yeah, I think the deck was pretty good though. Like I said, had a pretty good performance. I played against a lot of meta decks. That's all we were playing against usually, except for some of the games. We climbed pretty quick. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably gonna give this deck like a solid like 7.5, 8. Probably say like an 8. Going first is a pretty strong board to deal with. Like, the thing is, the difference maker between this and Masquerade Dragon is the Masquerade Dragon, the burns activate on every effect. So, like, spell or trap. So, when we're playing against these trap decks, the burn effect doesn't really actually do much. Like, our board's actually kind of bad against trap decks. But it's terrific. Like, if you go first against Floateries, and you set up 3 of these cards, like they almost like insta die, because every time they're normal summoning, activating effect, chain blocking, all this stuff, they're taking 2100 damage if you got 3 of them out, 1400 damage if you got 2. So it's kind of sweet on that aspect. The only problem I have with the deck is when it came to getting footage. A lot of the opponents, they were just, if they didn't have a way to interact with me comboing off, they would just instantly scoop. So, like, I had, like, a lot of games where people just insta-scoop. Like, after I play, like I activate Simone, play Black Whirlwind, activate, get Sudre, summon Sudre to grab this. After I summon, like, Vada, they just scooped because they're like, I have no answers to this. He's just going to build up a ridiculous board. And I just want to go to the next one, which is understandable. But it was kind of annoying getting footage, which is why a lot of the games you've seen were like me like working for my wins, because those are the only games people stood in the game. Otherwise, they would just quit because they were like I said, the meta right now is you win coin flip, you win the game. Like most of the time, this coin flip meta is like crazy. It's like, if I go first, like, I'm not even kidding you, if I go first with this deck, it's like 90% win rate. I go second with this deck, it's like 30% win rate. Like, it's a massive drop. Massive drop. But I guess it's just Yu-Gi-Oh! Ratios on the deck, cards you could replace technically, you probably could place Triple Tactics. I don't think it's 100% necessary because it's just a one-of. You probably could replace this card right here, the Rain Shadow. It did come up a few times, but it wasn't the end of the world. You definitely need at least 2 of the Boreal Storms. But other than that, I think that I felt pretty good about the ratios. But yeah, I think the deck was really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments what you guys want to see next. And until next time, goodbye.